Okay, so AI coding assistants are everywhere now, right? And they're promising this massive revolution. Developers are pumping out code faster than ever before. But here's the big, nagging question that's confusing engineering teams all over the place. If we're all coding so much faster, why aren't we shipping products any quicker? It doesn't add up. So today, let's pull back the curtain and figure out exactly where all that promised efficiency is hiding.
And this, right here, is the core mystery we're tackling. I mean, the math just feels off. You bring in a tool that makes one part of your job 5 times faster, but you only see a tiny little improvement in the final outcome. It seriously feels like 80% of that gain has just evaporated into thin air. So, where did it go?
And wow, this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? Look at that gap. On the left, you've got this huge 500% boost in raw coding speed that AI can give you. That's the dream, that's the hype. And then on the right, well, that's the cold, hard reality. A pretty measly 20% bump in how fast we actually deliver a project. We're not talking about a small difference here. This is a canyon, and it tells us we've been looking at this problem completely the wrong way.
To solve this thing, we have to stop obsessing over the speed of typing code and start looking at the entire system. The truth is, we've been pouring all this effort into optimizing a part of the process that was never the real bottleneck in the first place.
You know, to really get this, just think about the whole journey of delivering software. Writing code is just one single step, and it's often step number 3. Before you even think about writing a line of code, you've got to understand what you're building. You have to design the architecture. And then, after the code is written, you still have to integrate it, test it, verify it, and then actually deploy and operate it. AI is a rock star at step 3. But what about all those other steps?
This quote just says it all perfectly. You can have the fastest, strongest link in the entire world, but your chain is only as strong as its weakest point. In software development, the bottlenecks, those weak links, are almost never about how fast we can type. They're about communication, about making tough decisions, and about getting everyone on the same page.
And that leads us to a really critical insight. All that mental effort, the cognitive load, it didn't just disappear. It just moved. Developers are spending way less time thinking, okay, how do I write this function? And way more time asking, wait a minute, is this AI-generated code actually correct? Does it fit our system's design? Is it going to introduce some weird, impossible-to-find bug down the line? And that whole verification process, it eats up a massive chunk of the time we thought we were saving. This really gets to the fundamental mismatch here. AI is an absolute master of computational complexity. Give it an algorithm to write, ask for some boilerplate code, it's amazing. But building software is dominated by cognitive and coordination complexity. That's all the human stuff, trying to understand a client's vague request, debating architecture with your team, making 2 different complex systems actually talk to each other. We're basically using a hammer that's amazing for computational nails on a problem that's full of cognitive screws.
Okay, so let's get specific. If writing code isn't the main problem, then where does all the time in a project actually go? The answer is in the day-to-day things that just suck up all the time.
Yep, here they are. This is the daily reality for most of us. Hours stuck in meetings trying to figure out what the customer actually wants. Days at the whiteboard arguing the pros and cons of a system design. The absolute nightmare of getting 2 different services to play nice together. And oh yeah, that soul-crushing bug that only shows up on a full moon. These are the real bottlenecks, and they're all about people.
So, what's the move here? We have to stop thinking of AI as a replacement for developers and start seeing it as a strategic partner. We need a whole new playbook, one that uses the strengths of both humans and machines and frees us up to focus on the work that truly matters. And this is a fantastic way to think about that playbook. Let the AI handle all the repetitive, predictable stuff, like generating boilerplate code or writing simple unit tests. That's its superpower. Humans, well, we have to own the creative and judgment-based work, like making the final call on the system's architecture. And for everything in the middle, we work together. The AI generates a first draft, and the human expert validates it, refines it, and integrates it.
We can also meet the AI halfway by building systems that are just easier for it to understand and work with. I mean, think about it. A well-designed, modular system with really clear, well-documented APIs isn't just easier for a new human developer to jump into, it's also way easier for an AI to reason about. Good architecture is the ultimate force multiplier for both human and machine intelligence.
And when it comes to quality, we absolutely can't just cross our fingers and trust the AI. We need defense in depth.
So let AI be your first line of defense, catching simple errors and running basic checks. But that has to be followed by an expert human review for the logic and the bigger picture. Then you need rigorous integration testing for the whole system. And finally, you need to be monitoring it in real time when it's live. Each layer is there to catch what the previous one might have missed.
So this brings us to a really critical conclusion. If we really want to solve this paradox, we have to completely change how we measure success. The old metrics, like lines of code, are not just useless anymore, they're actually pointing us in the wrong direction. So this means we need to focus on totally different metrics. Instead of lines of code, let's measure cycle time. How long does it take to go from a simple idea on a whiteboard to a feature your customer can actually use? Instead of just velocity, let's measure the defect escape rate. How many bugs are getting past your team and affecting real users? And so importantly, measure cognitive load. Are you developers feeling energized and innovative, or are they just burnt out bug fixers? These are the numbers that tell you the true health of your engineering system.
If you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. For years, we've been treating software development like it's a factory assembly line, where faster machines automatically mean more output. But it's not. It's a complex, sometimes messy, human system of communication, collaboration, and creativity that happens to be supported by technology. The moment we truly get that, we can start making real improvements.
And that leaves us with one final, and I think vital, question for you to think about. As AI gets better and better at doing the mechanical parts of coding, our value has to shift. It shifts to understanding the business, to making those wise architectural decisions, to mentoring other people, and to asking the right questions in the first place. So what's your irreplaceable 20%? That's the question that's going to define the next decade of our entire field.